All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of We Create Music. I am your host, Vaughan, and today we have singer-songwriter Antonio Long joining the show today. What's up, brother?
What's going on, bro?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man.
Good. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes,
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me, man.
Man, no doubt. No doubt. Thanks for reaching out.
No doubt.
Greatly appreciate that. So if you wouldn't mind, just walk us through your journey. You can start at the very beginning and tell us all the things you want to tell us about how you got started.
With music?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've been doing music as an artist for about 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I started off as a gospel artist.
Nice.
Yeah, man. From Baltimore, Maryland. Y'all from...
I was born in Baltimore.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's what's
my
up.
whole side of the family, my dad's side of the family still live in Baltimore.
Sir, wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been
Dukeland
here?
Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You been here for a while? Or,
Well, we end up, I'm telling now my story, right?
Right.
No, so we were born in Baltimore, moved to Virginia. And so I was raised in Virginia almost all my life.
Yeah, so I've only been here for about almost 4 years.
Okay.
And
Baltimore.
so, yeah, man, I went to Morgan State University
Okay.
in Baltimore. I majored in music there. I just kind of stumbled onto the artist thing, to be honest. I majored in music. I wanted to teach music. I was interested in, like creating background vocals and stuff like that and conducting and stuff like that. But it just kind of happened where I just became an artist, bro. Like I started writing poetry, which led to me writing music. And that, I was trying to do like a demo for artists. I wanted to write for different artists. So I went into studios trying to record, get stuff done. I wasted a lot of time, a lot of money. And I was just like, man, let me just, it seemed simple. People was working with the Pro Tools or whatever they was working with. I was like, man, let me just learn how to do this myself. So I went out, I bought me a Mac. I went and bought my Pro Tools hardware. I bought the software, bought everything I needed, my mics and monitors and stuff. And I just started messing around with, recording. I started making beats or whatever. And, of course, still writing music and now putting those beats to the music to the songs to the beats or whatever. And it just turned, I found my style. I found my swag. Wow. It was a little whack at first. Because I didn't grow up singing.
Yeah, I think we all started out wag at first.
Yeah, it was definitely...
That's the maturity, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had a quality, I think, with my ideas and concepts and even with the writing part, but I didn't grow up singing. I didn't grow up in a musical family. I got into church, around 10. I was in church for a couple years and then I didn't get back into church until I was an adult. So it was being around musical people wasn't something that was a part of my story. So when I did, and then being in music, Morgan, everybody could sing. I was in the choir, Dr. Carter, and I was, some great vocalists there. And so just having a chance to be exposed as I got a little older to that, it kind of definitely helped me out a little bit. But just being in the studio, working at home, I developed my craft. And to this day, I'm still developing my craft and still growing. But I transitioned from the gospel side of music to more R&B.
Okay.
So my sound is kind of R&B, pop, R&B, some of it is new age, some of it is soulful. So it's, I don't do traditional R&B, but pretty much every other genre within the R&B. And so, yeah, man, and that brings me to now. I moved to Atlanta and right on the cusp of me transitioning actually from gospel to R&B. So it's crazy. So I had to get used to the culture here and get used to, just this whole other world. And it's been an amazing journey, man. There's definitely been a lot of growth. I've found for a while, I didn't know who I was within music after I stopped doing gospel. Because with gospel, it was I knew I was doing gospel for 10 years. Wow. You know what I mean? So it's I knew what I wanted to say. I knew what I was trying to convey to the people. I knew what my image was. I knew who I was. But once I, transitioned, it was okay, I'm in a whole new world here. What am I trying to convey? So, but I found that, man, and it's great.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
so, growing up in Baltimore, as far as the music scene in Baltimore, and you're getting into the gospel realm. So talk a little bit about that and how that culture up in Baltimore kind of influenced your music.
Well, like I said, going into it, I had no idea. I was very green when it came to creating music.
Okay.
I started singing in high school. You know, I grew up in Prince George's County. I went to Altoona High School, and we was traveling. We was doing classical, jazz. We was doing all types of music. I learned to read music. I learned to, I learned some of the nuances of theory and all of that type of stuff. But when it came to creating gospel music and just creating, I just really didn't know. So, I mean, it was hard trying to translate what I could see on paper to what I heard or what I created. You know what I mean? So by the time I got to Morgan and seeing other people still doing classical and doing the different genres of music, but also tapping into gospel and stuff, it influenced me a lot. And then getting back into church, and I was active in church with like singing with the praise teams and choirs and stuff like that. So it helped me definitely. I mean, it really set the foundation for me, to be where I am now. And of course, what's currently happening in music, just kind of hearing stylistically what's going on, definitely helped somewhat to kind of, help me figure out what direction I wanted to go, which is not necessarily where everybody else is going.
Right.
But yeah, so, and then of course, as I've gotten older, well, I started listening to different artists and stuff like that. I mean, so many different influences that I have that's kind of helped too. Because when you don't grow up around a musical family, or you don't grow up around music like that, I mean, you just don't know what you just don't know. A lot of people who I went to college with, a lot of people who I was in church with, they grew up singing in church, or they grew up around, musical people. So it was almost like it was in them. And I think music was in me, but it just really needs to be brought out and cultivated, So yeah, so that's pretty much. And then going to the different concerts and different stuff, within Baltimore. It's very cultured when it comes to music.
Very cultured.
Especially gospel.
Yeah.
In that city. So, that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. So you said that when you transitioned from gospel to R&B, you had to re-identify yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So what process did you use to kind of help you through that when you were switching, like, hey, I'm going to leave gospel, I'm going to step into this R&B realm? What was that process like?
It wasn't even a thought out process, to be honest. The way everything was happening in my life at the time, I was in Baltimore. I was very unhappy. I was dissatisfied with the way things were going in my life, with my music, with who I was, how I identified myself, and just everything. I was really unhappy, which is part of the reason why I left. And so, like I said, I was really on the cusp of transitioning. I didn't know it though. I had created a song called Really Love, which is the first single since I was doing gospel. And it's an amazing single, and I got with some great producers and stuff. And this is my first time stepping out doing something other than gospel. And we recorded that right before I left. And I didn't release until I actually came here. So that in itself was a big thing for me, because I was trying to figure out, and I was already like, man, I want to be more transparent with my music. I want to be me. I want to be, because like, in gospel sometimes, I mean, depending on the city or just depending on where you are, sometimes it could be hard to really just be yourself, because sometimes people put you in a box, or they expect you to have a certain sound. And it just wasn't me. I've always been kind of soulful, smooth. I've always had my own sound. I've never been like churchy or traditional gospel. So that in itself already, and then moving here, that transition with transitioning to a whole new, state or city that I never been to. I came here once, didn't know anybody here. That was just a whole big thing. So I just was at a major crossroads in my life, just in finding myself just so many personal things that I had to really put under the microscope and really, really just examine who I was and where I was in my life. And all of it happened simultaneously. It all did. And when I put out Really Love, it really just was like, man, I like this lane because I wasn't able to be I wasn't fully transparent in the song as I could have been, because I think I still was a little nervous to say certain things that I wanted to say, but I was a lot more transparent than what I had been with gospel in that one song. Just getting my feelings out, just saying what I felt, and so I like that lane. It was hard to figure out the sound that I was going for. Like if you listen to some of the songs that I released that aren't gospel, you can tell that it's kind of like they all sound different, which is good. But I just didn't really I just didn't know what direction I was going.
Yeah. I mean, you're at the point where you're still trying to identify what your sound is, transitioning from one genre to the next. I mean, even though gospel kind of has some influence in R&B and vice versa, right? So a lot of, like you said in the very beginning, you didn't grow up in a musical family, and a lot of people grew up in church singing gospel, and then they transition into R&B because there's a connection between like the style and the feel of music, because it's soulful and it still has that that impact in that type of genres, right? So you can kind of float in between one to the other, through that process. But yeah, I can understand how it is moving from one city that you've been in almost all your life and then coming to another city and it's completely
the culture
different.
Is so different. But different. And I'm grateful that it was a natural transition. I can honestly say, I mean, I didn't know what I was in for even moving here. I just knew I wanted to get out from where I was, and I thought that this would be better, and I was correct. But everything just happened so natural. This whole process for me over the last 4 years has been such a natural process. From even the creativity, I don't feel like I forced anything. I don't feel like I'm trying to be somebody that I'm not. I just feel free. You know what I mean? And I'm at such a great place with my creativity in my life, and I'm really grateful. Like that, I'm so happy that
you sound like you
had to step out. Sometimes you really got to step out from where you are. You just never know what's on the other side. And people tried to kind of discourage me, or I could see some of the opposition, and the story just even getting here was just crazy. But I know that the path that I'm on is where I'm supposed to be. So,
I feel you. Yeah. I mean, I can see the happiness in your face and when you speak. As someone who would spend almost every summer in Baltimore, Baltimore, and no knock against Baltimore. I mean, it is what it is, right? So every summer when I would go back, it was amazing. I mean, I grew up on Dukeland Street with my grandmother and grandfather. My dad was there, and every summer it was. I mean, we would go up into North Avenue, and there's all the stores there, and it just seemed like it was a real good community. I mean, I remember walking to a neighbor's house, and he had sunflowers in his yard, and it was beautiful. And I went back to Baltimore a couple years ago, and it was not the same.
Totally different.
Not the same. I was like,
totally.
It felt gray.
Yeah, and that's what I say. Very desolate, very dark.
It felt gray.
Very depressing, bro.
Very depressing. I'm driving down the street on North Avenue, and I see this was the first time I saw the blue lights.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? And it just felt gray and depressing, and I called my uncle because he grew up there with the high school and everything there, and my mom's and my other aunts and uncles and things. And I was like, I don't remember it being like this. And I still have relatives who live there, so I know I got relatives who are going to watch the show.
Man.
And I love y'all. But yeah, it felt real depressing.
But that's real talk. I mean, and you're absolutely right. I mean, like when people ask me all the time, like, what is it like there? That's, that's what I say. But like, I remember because I moved away. I moved to PG County, which is totally. I love that, man. I love that, the DC area. Like I grew up around there, like I say, from middle school all the way through high school. And I moved back to Baltimore to go to Morgan. But I remember being a kid, you had the inner city, the parts that were kind of rough, but I remember it was so many great places in the city. I remember going to my grandmother's house. I remember, it just seemed, it was so different. So when I went back there, it was like, wow, you know what I mean? And just, I really got stuck there. I got stuck because, I got into a field, the medical field. I was working, and I was in that for 10 years. And then I had this newfound discovery with my music. So that kind of kept me, just kept me there for a long time. But yeah, man, I've only been back once, since I've been here. And I miss it sometimes, but I love Atlanta though.
Yeah. Atlanta's a really good place, especially for people who aren't just native. I always get it wrong, and they always correct me when I say it wrong because I'm not from Atlanta. AT-alien?
Yeah.
I always want to say Atlantean, and they're like, as soon as I say that, they're like,
yeah.
We're not Atlanteans, we're AT-alien. I'm like, my bad, I'm sorry, right, for being someone who's not from here. But Atlanta's an amazing place.
It is.
And I tell people when I was talking to somebody, and she was saying that 80% of the music comes from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like when you think about music today, 80% of it comes from, now I don't know where the source of that came from as far as data and statistics, but just even the thought that 80% of music comes from this one city for the rest of the world is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, because when you listen to a lot of rappers, they from here. There's so many producers here. I mean, there's a lot of people here, industry people here, and I mean that was the thing too with being in Baltimore. I mean, nobody really comes to Baltimore like that. I mean, you stand a better chance of people coming to DC. But Baltimore, it was like, especially with the gospel thing. I mean, people did come there for like, with the gospel stuff, but it was like the chances of me really like being able to connect with somebody in real time in the city was just kind of like, I'm gonna have to go out. You gotta get out of it. So I mean, being here, just knowing that you may know somebody who know. I mean, I have friends and people who know certain people, in the industry and stuff. So just having that that possibility to be able to have someone be tangible is cool. So,
yeah, that's the reason why I ended up moving from. So I lived in St. Louis before I moved here for the past 10 years. And that was the reason why I left St. Louis to come to Atlanta, because we have music there. Tons of producers, artists, singer-songwriters, but no industry people. Right? And so who was I really going to connect with that had a door into the music industry? And there really wasn't. And so I would come to Atlanta all the time. And so that's where I said, you know what? If I'm going to make this really work the way it needs to, I got to move to where to where they need to be. For me, it was that I had to do that. Now I know people who live in different cities that are making a killing, but they don't live here in Atlanta, but they have connections all over.
Yeah.
But it was just for me that I felt like I needed to be in a city that I could make these connections with, and they can see my face on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So being in music, right? Even transition from gospel to R&B, what were some of your own sacrifices and or challenges that you had to deal with?
In the transition?
It could be within the transition or just in the music period.
I mean, it's always sacrifice, bro. I mean, you sacrifice a lot of time, obviously, of course, money, as an independent artist, but I would say those are the main two things. And just, while everybody else is kind of doing them, having fun and stuff, I have fun, I go out and stuff, but I be on the grind, and people don't always see your grind or whatever, behind the scenes. They see you putting out music, they see you performing, they see, they see the finished product, or they see what looks, like whatever, but they don't see behind the scenes. And, so that's mainly it, man. You have to, just being focused. If you have a goal, is really being focused on that goal. So while everybody else is going one way, sometimes you just gotta go that way and be like, dang, I want to be doing this right now. I want to be a part of this right now. But it's
everybody has their own journey. Everybody has the path. You spoke about that a little bit earlier, but everybody has their own path that they're on, that they need to travel with their own experiences and to arrive at the place that they need to arrive at. So what one person may be doing, or another person may be doing. Yeah, I may want to do those things, but it doesn't necessarily fit within the realm of the journey that I'm on. And I think when people can accept the fact that they're on a different journey, whether it's in grind mode behind the scene, whether it's out in front in the public eye, that we're all putting in the necessary work that we need in order to, that's needed for us, right? That's needed for us, because we may be dealing with things that's outside of the realm of music, right? Even identity issue type things. Yeah. Just trying to figure out who we are and what we're trying to do. So I guess it's just recognizing, even for anybody watching, whatever your path is your path, and don't compare your path to somebody else's. And
that's it right there. Like, I mean, in me maturing and me just going through, just living, I had to learn that, especially starting in music, which I feel was kind of late. You know what I mean? I used to always feel like, especially like when I first started, it was like, I mean, even from the time I got to Morgan, we'd be in theory classes or ear training classes, and it's like, bro, I mean, all I learned in high school, I learned how to read music, but all I learned in high school, theoretically, outside of just sight reading and notes and stuff, was the circle of fifths, which is a whole, like, that's the most basic thing you can learn. By the time I got to college, all them people were in performing arts school. Wow. They had already been playing. So I mean, we doing ear training classes. They calling out. I'm trying to hear what's major, what's minor, what's diminished, what's this and that. And I mean, it was like, dang, I just feel so behind. And then when I realized that I wanted to do music as an artist, I felt so far behind because everybody had been doing it for years. It was like, dang, like, bro, but I used to be hard on myself, and just kind of being in a dark space anyway. It was like, man, but now I wouldn't trade it for the world, because it really speaks to the goodness of God, man, really. Hey, and I mean, to see where I was then, if you saw where I was then versus now, the growth, and also, just the reception from people and how they look at my music and stuff is totally different. And they don't believe that, like, I just, that I haven't been doing music for that long, So, I mean, and I used to compare myself to different people and stuff, and, not, just wanting to be in a better space. Yeah. But like you said, your journey is your own journey. You gotta walk that thing out, man.
You sure do, right? There's no time that is better than the time that you're in, right? So when you start music, so whether you get into music at 15, 19 when you're young, or you get into it when you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s. I mean, I'm not gonna say how old I am, but I'm not in that 30s anymore though. But when your time is your time, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. Like, there was this guy, I think he's 80? He's a trap producer.
Wow, a trap?
Yeah, trap producer. Playing. Not playing at all.
Is he good?
I think he's 70 probably. Yeah. Really? That's what's so surprising. Wow. But they say music is a young man's game. Or at least, let me take that back. Because I don't know if I believe that just all music is a young man's game. Because as a producer, I don't have a shelf life. Most people say that artists have a shelf life because companies only want to use you for a certain amount of time, and until they can get their money out of you for that amount of time, then that's when you're on and popping. But after a certain amount of time, your life is over as an artist. Now I'm not saying, because I know you're a singer-songwriter, right? But I mean, that's how they do it in the main industry thing. But when people got good music, they got good music, regardless of how old they are. I don't think age or time has anything to do with it, as long as people are producing good quality music.
I think from an industry perspective, I get it. I mean, from an industry perspective, right, because it's about money and a product and appealing to what's current or relevant or whatever. And it's sad, because a lot of the greats, a lot of the people we grew up on, 90s, 80s, whatever, like, they don't get sometimes they're just doing. They still out here popping. But because they older, or because it's like, we just, with our culture, it's just so I feel like it's so backwards, you know, as even like with you getting older and stuff, like other cultures respect, you know, the people who came before them is an honor, you know, but with us, it's like, oh, you a has-been, you washed up or whatever. And I mean, even getting older, you know, and me feeling like, if I don't make it by a certain time, or if I don't have this type of exposure by a certain time, I mean, I used to really think like that, but I mean, like you said, when it's your time, it's your time. And if it's for you, it's for you. And just because you do music, it doesn't mean that you have to be famous. It don't mean you have to be in the industry. I mean, it's so many different routes to go on. Like I write music too. I mean, my passion is writing. Actually, like I mean, that's where it all started. So I love to. I would love to be someone behind the scenes writing for artists. You know. So I mean that's an option, and I've been putting myself out there in that realm as well. I mean that's that's where the money's at anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't always have to be the face of whatever. But if it's for you, it's for you. But I just want to. My thing is I want to be happy. You know what I mean? And being in the industry doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna be happy, but I just want to be able to do what I love, and it's and it produce fruit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Make a living from it, right?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself and your family, or do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
Off of the things that you love.
And anybody can do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
So talk about your music.
So currently I have a single out called Bag. You said you heard it, yeah?
Bag. Make sure you check it out. I'll let him finish telling all the stuff about it, but make sure you check out this. I had the chance to listen to it.
Yeah. So that's the single that's out currently. We just shot a dope video for that. We shot it in Miami and we shot some of it here. It's a great video. So, but yeah, so that song came about just, I wanted to do something different, talk about just being focused and just being in your bag, just being about, not just about money, but
money.
Just
Because that's what people associate bag with.
It's about that, but it's more about, just being focused, staying on your grind, not letting the different distractions come in to distract you from doing what you want to do. And then too, like, people see you on your grind, and some people feel like, oh, you don't make time for them, or you're not, they just they don't see what you see. So it's like, I love you, I'm here, but I'm just in my bag right now. Right. Just respect that, so that's pretty much it. So that's the latest single. Pretty much right now I have mostly singles out. I do have some stuff with gospel. I have an EP out on the gospel side. I have some other singles, but I have about 4 or 5 singles out right now. And People Problems is one of them. Really Love, and another single called Right On. And then I have some free music that I offer through my website for my fans, antoniolone.com. And I'm working on an EP right now.
Hey, I was getting ready to ask that question. I was just getting ready to ask, like, so when is the EP album coming?
Yeah, man. I've been stalling. I started working on an EP in 2017.
Wow.
But I scrapped it, because it was like, I still was kind of in that space where I was like, I didn't know where the direction I was going. And sometimes when you think you want to go, as you keep, just being inspired to write and stuff, and, you just need more time to grow and just get some more inspiration, So that's what happened. I didn't rush the process. Like, I used to want to, I know a lot of artists can, attest to the fact that we can rush the process sometimes because we want to get it out to the people. We want to show what we've been working on, but I really took my time and just evaluated where I was when I was working on the EP at first, and I was like, no, this is not it. So I just took some time just to reflect or whatever. So now I know exactly where I am, and I know, the space. I know what I want to say. So I'm done the creative process. I'm going in the studio really soon.
That's what's up.
To get it popping, and yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm hoping to have that the EP be out by 2020, sometime 2020.
That's what's up. Yeah. That's what's up. So you've also been going around and performing a lot as well, right? So kind of talk about that experience, especially here in Atlanta.
Totally different than what I was used to. I'm not gonna You know, with the gospel stuff and being in Baltimore, it was a different culture. People called you to perform. People, you know, they emailed you, whatever. When I got here, I was like, because I didn't know anybody, so it was kind of like, you know, I had to just start from the bottom, basically. And so that's what I did, but I discovered that they had all of these showcases, and you basically got to pay to perform at the majority of them. And it was, I mean, they had open mics and stuff, and I did some open mics, but pretty much when I first started, it was mainly like doing showcases and just, you know, paying to get on the stage. I didn't like that. I still don't like it. I get it, but I don't get it. So it's like, I don't really do those anymore because it wasn't fruitful for me. It wasn't beneficial at all.
It was fruitful for them.
Right. And it was like, you know, you get there as hella artists. Right. Like, that's it. Like, this room for the artists.
Right.
And this is like, So, I mean, it was cool for a second, and I definitely don't regret doing it. It was necessary because it allowed me to meet other artists. It allowed me to just to see what was happening and just to get acclimated to how things go out here. So now that I'm acclimated to it, I just, man, honestly, people, they'll just hit me up and say, you know, do you want to perform for this event, for this showcase, or for whatever they're having? And it's cool. I mean, and I think, you know, just being consistent with constantly, you know, going out and performing, it just let people see that you're serious, and especially if you have something quality, and, you know, now they reach out and people say, hey, I want to have you come perform or whatever. So I think that's cool.
I think that's kind of what I've seen also, is that a lot of the showcases, you it's like pay to play type thing, right? So if I want to perform at this one of these venues, and you're right, it's hella artists there. Like, you walk in and there's like 20 other artists, and you're like, and you only get 2 hours, and there's only 2 hours, and so everybody performs within that 2 hours. So you get like, what, 1-2 songs in, maybe, and it's like, okay, well, bring up the next artist, let's go. Like, wow.
Bro, I've been to showcases where it's hundreds of artists, like
for one night,
bro. Like,
a drawing of straws to who's gonna perform.
Okay, like, I ain't gonna say hundreds, but close to at least 100.
Wow,
seriously, like, where you sitting there and the show is from, like, it's all night, like, it's to the morning. It's like to about 3 a.m. They'll start at like 9:30, whatever time, and they'll just go all night. And you have to sign a list, and you have to wait until it's your time to
from that time. And you can't just show up anytime you want to.
Right. And then, like, if you pay a certain amount, now that's if you don't want to pay nothing. If you want to pay something, if you want to be up earlier, you pay a certain fee, and they'll push you closer to the front. Man, I've seen so much. I was like, no, bro, I can't. Like, I can't. I'm like, first of all, I got work tomorrow, so like,
I can't be
I'm
like
not
3.
even like. And then you get all of these rappers. They get up there and they all sound just alike. It's like you listening to a whole a broken record, really. And it's like, nah. So it was an experience. I needed to experience all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So, like I said, now it's just, you know. And then I'm not really focused on being everywhere and trying to be so visible. You know what I mean? I just feel like because now I'm in a creative space. I'm getting, well, I've been in the creative space for a couple months, but I'm really trying to get focused on creating for the EP. Okay. So, you know, I'm not really too focused on, like, you know, just being everywhere performing. But I do, and I enjoy it. I love being on stage. I really do. Because, I mean, I just like to connect with the audience, and, you know, I just like to be able to touch people, you know. I mean, you do your thing on social media, you share your music, it's cool, but it's like to really be in a place where, you know, you can reach people.
That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to something you said. Okay. So you, of course, you didn't grow up in a musical family and things like within your whole musical background. And I believe I heard you say that you didn't even start off as a singer.
No.
Right. No. So help a brother out, right? Help a brother out, right? Someone who grew up singing, right? Because I grew up singing. No, I didn't say I could. I didn't say I could.
You grew up
singing. I didn't say that.
Singing in the shower.
Yeah, but so singing in school, all the way from elementary school to high school.
Okay.
To being in several groups. as I was growing up, right? I'm sharing all my story, right? I'm trying to get some advice on how to figure this thing out. How did you move into that? How did you break whatever you needed to, or how did you step into that to build up your own confidence level? Like, because I don't like singing in front of people.
No, like for real, like that's how I was too. I mean, first of all, I was very nervous. I was actually kind of shy in a lot of ways growing up, you know. So by the time I got to college, I was nervous. I didn't like being around groups of people, walking into the room and people looking at me. I was just kind of like I hated that. But when I started doing spoken word, and I was actually with a spoken word group, and we traveled and we performed together. And so I got really confident in that. You know, being in front of people, and people received what I was, you know, giving, you know, very well. And I was like, okay, so I got something, I was working on my stage fright. But then I realized like singing is totally different. So, I mean, to be honest with you, it was I think the ministry part of it, being in church and in gospel, it was kind of like a crutch for me. It was something that I could lean on, you know what I mean? And then I was very passionate about what it was that I was saying. At first it really wasn't me trying to be an artist. Like it was really just me being passionate about the message. And I remember I had people would ask me like, would you ever do R&B? Would you ever do something other than gospel? And I just always was like, nah, because, I'm really tied to the message. I believe in what I'm singing. It's really not about just the music. It was just more about the ministry of it all. So with that, I was nervous, but I didn't even realize, it was like eventually I got comfortable because I just wasn't paying attention to nothing. But church folk are the hardest folk to sing in front of, because everybody that can sing come from the church. Yeah. So I had a lot of people just looking at me like with their arms folded.
I never so, oh my gosh, but they be so,
excuse me, like, they be like,
he hit that note wrong.
Right, exactly.
Like, I'm like, oh my goodness.
I had many. And then I knew musical people. Then I was, like familiar with musical people, and I would go to the musical concerts and all of that type of stuff. So, it was, I don't know, man. Everything just seemed, looking back, man, everything just seemed to happen so naturally. What was the question? You asked me, that's what it was, confidence. So what I realized is that as I've gotten more confident in myself outside of just the music, I've noticed that it's also reflected in my music. And I also noticed that in me not being as skilled of a singer as I wanted to be at the time, and I'm a lot better than I was, but like me comparing myself to people in that time, like the confidence that starts to exude from you as a person, or just how you carry yourself or how you think about yourself, it just puts you a step above sometimes where you may be, if that makes sense, because it makes you seem better than what you are. When
you stop comparing yourself,
and when you're just confident in what you do and you just do it freely. I really had to learn that the hard way, because I just always felt like, man, like I'm just not good enough. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people feel like, bro, like no matter what I give, no matter what I try to do, I'm just not good enough. And that's how it really felt, but now it's like, I'm confident. Like, I'm confident and I don't hit every note. I mean, I used to sing when I was singing, bro. I couldn't even watch the footage. Like, I wouldn't be able to watch it. People want to post it on YouTube. They want to post it on wherever. And don't let nobody come with me and record me. And I'm like, I got to see that first. Like, I mean, so much stuff that's been on YouTube I done took down because it was like, oh my God. But I would critique myself, every little thing. I would hitting all these wrongs. I'd be flat and everything. But now when I perform, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to be seen in my best light. I want people to see me, you know, as being good. I want to look at myself and think it's good. But sometimes I be hitting wrong notes. I don't sound always the best, but I'm confident. You know what I mean? And it's not just all about that all the time. I'm connecting with the audience. You know, I'm performing. You know, and it's just a really good. I'm living in the moment. So just to answer your question, confidence, man, and it starts from the inside out too. You know what I mean? So for me and my story, like it's that confidence piece it really does reflect in your music, you know, and all that. Still don't remember the question.
No, that was the question.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, the question was pretty much how did you get into that or build your confidence or break into coming from someone who was a non-singer to someone who was a singer.
And also, not to cut you off, but just to practicing and like trying and working on your craft. Like, I mean, I just feel like I have work. I mean, I still feel like I could be better. But I have spent a lot of time just listening to other artists, you know, and vocal shedding or just figuring. I mean, when I started singing, bro, I couldn't do nothing. Like when I tell you I had nothing, like it was like I had nothing to give at all. Like, but now I have I can give something, you know, I feel like I can create something. I just didn't know nothing. Like really. So like, but listening to other people getting inspired and just learning and studying, you know, it's just really kind of like that piece, you know, you can't just lean on confidence, but just also trying to just working at your craft too.
Yeah, I think I just need to stop comparing myself to like Tank.
Yeah, Tank is a monster.
Or like, or Luther, or Brian McKnight.
But you setting the bar too high.
Or Genuine.
But you setting the bar too,
you know,
setting the bar too high right now.
Like,
right.
I'm like, oh man.
You coming out with Luther at the gate.
At the gate.
I need you to.
I'm like, I need to sound like Luther right out the gate. Or Tank right out the gate. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. But it does take practice. And a lot of practice to develop the voice that you need. Because when I hear myself sing, I'm like, I don't like how it sounds. But I don't like my voice, period. Like at all. Even just talking right now, I hear it and I'm like, man,
really?
Yeah, but it's so weird.
I used to be. I'm looking at you like really, but I used to be like that too.
It is
actually. Even my speaking voice, I can relate, and I forgot that quick that I was like that, but I was. I remember I was in high school. My voice used to be so high. And it was cool because I was a first tenor in the choir, but my voice was just so high. I just felt like, and I feel like it's not high like it was. I mean, my voice is changing, but like, bro, like I used to listen to myself and be like, and then my voice sounds kind of different. But I mean, shoot.
Yes. Yeah. So like I'm sitting here talking, and you hear my voice, and I've had people tell me like, you don't like your voice? I'm like, no. They say you have such a great speaking voice. Like
it is.
Because I do training and development in my real job.
Okay.
And they're like, your voice is perfect for that. Like you have a great voice. You could be on the radio and all these. But when I hear myself back on like the video, I sound like this. This is how it sounds to me. This is when I'm talking to you right now. This is how it sounds. I'm like, oh my gosh, like really? No. Turn that off. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really know. I mean, that's just that whole confidence piece.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I kind of, because it's crazy, I really forgot about that. But I've had people tell me like, I love your tone. You just have such a clear tone. And at first, when people would compliment me at first, it would be like, you just smooth. You just it sounds smooth. And I kind of, I didn't like it at first because it was kind of like, laid back. I always been a laid back person. Everything was just kind of, I just didn't want to be the person that's just always laid back. Like, you smooth. Like, that made me just feel like I'm just boring or something. Excuse me. But in listening to music and being more familiar with vocals, and I get it. Like, I have a nice tone. I have a clear tone. I have a tone that, a lot of males want to have. Not saying, you could have whatever tone and be flexibly vocal, whatever, but I have a good tone. Like, and I had to stop being so hard on myself, and I had to really be like, and start listening, like, you have a good tone. Like, and when people would say, like, yo, I like your tone, or I like how you sound, like, really receive that. You know what I mean? Because this is my voice for life. I mean, I can get better, but your voice is not really going to change. Now, I can manipulate my voice if I want, but I mean, and just be confident. It's like you deal with the cards you're dealt. And you play, it's not what you have, it's how you play it.
That's right.
So, but there's nothing wrong with your voice. I can tell you that right now. Like,
But I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh man.
Now, I don't know about your singing voice. I'm not encouraging nothing.
Y'all not gonna hear it. So don't worry about that. Y'all not gonna hear it. Maybe one day I'll go over to Antonio's spot and I'll let him hear so that he can give me some tips. But y'all not gonna hear it. So don't worry about that.
What camera am I looking at?
That one right there.
Oh, okay.
But y'all not gonna trust me. Y'all not gonna hear it. No. Y'all not gonna hear it over here either. So don't matter. Nope. Y'all not hearing it.
But if you can really sing though, man, like, I mean, I be telling people, like, I have people, especially more so now, have people, like, especially younger people, be like, what do you, how do you start, or what do I do? How do you get into this, or like whatever? And my thing is just to start somewhere.
Right.
I mean, just to start somewhere. And it's so hard for me to tell somebody just to start, because when you looking at yourself, and especially if you a perfectionist and you looking at every little thing and you don't have the most encouragement around you, it's hard to just get out there and just start. But that's literally what I did. I didn't realize that I was doing it. You know what I mean? I didn't, I had a couple friends and people who was in my corner, but it was just like, I don't know. I've always I was always drawn to the arts. I was always drawn to music and stuff. Even though I wasn't privileged to grow up around that, I always wanted to do something in that. So it's always been in me. Right. So it's like, when it came time for me to do it, it was just like, sink or swim, just do it. And then looking back now, when I can recollect, it's like I just started. And you just start and you keep going and then you grow. That's just, that's the only way. Because you're not going to sound, even people who can really sing, or people who can really, whatever it is that they're doing, it's like, it's still stuff that they see and they hear that they don't like too. Like, nobody's perfect. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, so it's like, just, if you got it, just start. I mean, that's. I don't
know, y'all may. Y'all not going to get that. Nope. Nope. So let me ask you, so what advice would you have for a singer-songwriter getting into this music industry?
Man, it's hard. They can be rough sometimes, but it's not as bad as it seems when you're doing what you love to do. So I just tell people, because I don't really feel like I'm a part of the music industry, the big industry of it all, but you can make so much happen on your own, independently of what's happening. You can call the shots, you can say when to stop, when to go, whatever. You can create as freely as you want. We're living in such a great time. And so with that, there's no limits to what can happen. So if you just, like I was saying now, if you just start somewhere, just start. Have a goal, set that goal, complete that goal. Whether it's, hey, I want to go to the studio and record a song, and you just work on that one song, and that's all you do for the whole year.
2 years. No, I'm joking.
But it be like that. Like, it really do. Yeah. Like, especially if you don't have the money sometimes, or you don't have, or for whatever reason, it takes time. And anything, remember my high school choir director used to say, anything easy to get isn't worth having. Everything, people want to go from here, people want to be an overnight success. Right. That is not realistic. It happens for some people, but you can't go from here, from A to Z. You got to go through the alphabet. You gotta walk out. You gotta walk it out. So start somewhere and be consistent, and and stick with it, man. Like, that's the best. Like, don't quit, man, because I just feel like eventually it's gonna be something if you have something. Yeah. So
where can people find you and your music?
You can find me on IG at Antonio Long Show. My music is on Spotify. It's on Apple Music, iTunes, wherever you get your music. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Antonio Long Show, and my website is antoniolong.com.
That's what's up. And make sure you check out the new single Bag. You got
Yes,
it.
definitely. And listen to my other music too.
Yeah, listen to other music
I got some
too.
other good stuff.
Yes. I'm telling you, once you hear this song, we need the EP. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, we need
I
to
can't
do
wait. Like, the best part of doing music is the creative. For me, is being like just creating. And man, creatively, I'm in a good space.
Good.
And this EP is going to be dope.
Yeah,
So I would
I
definitely. I want
can't
to come
wait.
back. Hopefully,
Yes,
I come
when
back.
the EP drops,
Yeah,
we're going to have you back.
cool.
No doubt. My brother, appreciate you being on the show.
No doubt.
Greatly appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of We Create Music. Of course, you can catch all of our episodes on our website at www.wecreatemusic.tv. Thank you once again. Have a great day, and you can catch us every Saturday, 10 a.m. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.